Twój przewodnik po świecie języka angielskiego. Dzień dobry, tu Monika Podbielska. Witam Was serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku podcastu. Dzisiaj opowiem Wam historię po angielsku. Historia dotyczyła będzie Halloween. Jest to dzień, który bardzo chętnie obecnie obchodzimy, szczególnie dzieci. Mogą się przybierać, mogą zbierać słodycze, czyli tak jak zupełnie dzieci amerykańskie, które kiedyś oglądaliśmy tylko w filmach. Wielu z nas się to podoba. Są też tacy, którzy krytykują takie obchody. Dzisiaj więc chcę Wam opowiedzieć historię o tradycjach związanych z Halloween, ale przede wszystkim o jego historii. Skąd się to wywodzi, skąd wywodzi się ten dzień, a także chciałabym, żebyście usłyszeli legendę związaną z Halloween, która wyjaśnia wiele symboli, którymi się teraz otaczamy. Ten tekst możecie ściągnąć z mojej strony w wersji angielskiej www.monikapodbielska.com. Zaznaczone są tam słowa najważniejsze, które zostały użyte w tym tekście, więc możecie słuchać aktywnie, czyli zapoznać się ze słownictwem, albo możecie najpierw spróbować zrozumieć pełną treść, a dopiero potem wrócić do słownictwa. Pokazałam Wam tam również konstrukcje, które zostały wykorzystane do tego tekstu, ponieważ jest to prosty tekst w czasie przeszłym, więc konstrukcje dzisiaj też nie będą bardzo skomplikowane. Zapraszam Was więc do słuchania. Halloween. Today, also in Poland, we have started to celebrate Halloween widely. Children, just like in America, have started to collect sweets, and it is really so much fun for them. They may have as many candies as they want that day, and they may dress up as strange creatures and use their imagination in the dark afternoons. Isn't it great? In fact, I wish we had had such fun in our childhood. So today we are going to talk about the origins and legends connected with this festival. But please note that, in fact, all the Anglo-Saxon traditions stem from the Roman culture. The Romans got as far as to the territories of Germany and England, and the two cultures interacted. The eastern part of Europe, with Slavic countries, originate from completely different traditions. Nowadays, of course, in a global world, these two traditions interact, and with dominance of the English language and culture, we adopt its customs as well. Coming back to our story, though, more than 2,000 years ago, in what is now England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, there lived tribes of people called Celts. The Druids, the Celtic priests, honored, among others, the god of the dead called Samhain. They celebrated Samhain's festival between the evening of October the 31st and the next day of November the 1st. The Celts used to believe that this god could control the spirits of the dead. They also believed that on the night of the 31st of October, Samhain would gather the souls of those who had died during the previous year, and that he would make them pay for their sins by putting them into animal bodies. The greater the sinner a person had been, the lower the animal in which his body was put. That is why people believe that all kinds of spirits, fairies and ghosts, used to roam the earth during that night. What is more, the Samhain's festival marked the end of summer and the beginning of the winter darkness. Due to that, the arrival of witches and demons was absolutely justified. To frighten and scare away those evil spirits, the Celts used to light huge bonfires on the hills. Bonfires, however, also meant to honor that divinity of the sun, which helped the farmers to crop the land. They worshipped the sun and were worried about its fading away in autumn, hoping it would return. They used to sit by the bonfires, asking for the return of the sun in spring. The next morning, on November the 1st, they would return homes with chunks of still glowing wood from the bonfires to use it with cooking fires and prepare huge feasts. In this way, the Celts wanted to help the sun strengthen before the battle with winter. They also would dress up in animal skins, which was supposed to serve as protection against bad luck. This custom survived until recent years. On the other hand, the ancient Romans used to hold the festival of Pomona, the goddess of fruit, garden, and apples. The Romans would thank the goddess for good harvest with fruit sacrifices and merry games. When they conquered the Celts in Europe, they also brought the Celtic customs with them, and as the result, they were holding one great autumn festival. Later on, in the 9th century, the Roman Catholic Church established All Hallows or All Saints' Day on November the 1st to honor all the saints who had no separate day of their own. Also, the Church hoped to replace in this way all the pagan ceremonies. But in opposition to the Roman Catholic Church, there emerged a cult of the witches, with its followers called Halloween, the Night of the Witches. They believed that on that night, the devil and his court would come and perform some wicked acts. So, despite the Church's attempt to convert the day of November the 1st into a religious holiday, the Night of the Witches has survived over centuries until now. People all over the world continue those pagan celebrations on the evening before All Hallows, and in this way, October the 31st became known as All Hallows Even, in short, Halloween. And now we are proceeding to the most famous legend about Halloween, which explains why we use lights in a curved pumpkin in Halloween evenings. So there was once an old man called Stingy Jack, who was taking great pleasure in tricking, scaring, and harming people. Once he invited the devil for dinner, but he didn't want to pay for it and decided to trick the devil. Jack convinced him to change into a coin, which they could use to pay for the meal. As soon as the devil did so, Jack quickly put the coin in his pocket next to a silver cross, which stopped the devil from changing back. Eventually, Jack freed the devil, but under one condition: that the devil wouldn't bother him for a year. The devil came back after a year. As they walked along, they came to a tree heavy with big red apples. Jack suggested picking some of them, and so the devil climbed up onto Jack's shoulders and jumped a branch to collect the biggest fruit he could find. Now, very quickly, Jack carved a cross on the tree trunk, which made it impossible for the devil to get down. This time, Jack promised to set the devil free under the condition to never claim his soul. And the devil agreed. But before the next Halloween, Jack died, and his soul needed a place to rest. The God refused to take such a bad guy to heaven. The devil didn't let him be a part of heaven as well, as Jack made him promise never to take his soul. And so the devil sent Jack back to the dark night with a burning coal from the furnaces of hell to light his way. Jack put the coal into a curved out turnip, which over the centuries and years has become a pumpkin. Since then, on every Halloween night, he roams endlessly with his jack-o'-lantern, and his soul got stuck between the heaven and the hell. Now we know that Jack and his lantern became the symbol of a lost or damned soul. To scare those souls away on Halloween, people in Ireland carved or painted faces on turnips and placed them in windows or doorways. In America, Irish immigrants discovered that turnips were hard to get, but pumpkins were plentiful. So they started to make their lanterns out of a pumpkin, a fruit native to America. The custom of collecting sweets with the words trick or treat, in fact, was used by children and people to save themselves from ghosts. It was believed that the real ghost wandering on the night of Halloween think of those disguised people as one of them and stay away. Most probably, ancient Ireland is the source of the trick-or-treating custom. The tradition of dressing up has its origin not only in the pagan times. The Roman Catholic Church of Ireland organized performances on November the 1st on the day of All Hallows. Actors dressed up either as saints or as devils and in a peculiar, strange procession marched from the church out to the churchyard. The play there continued for hours until late evening. Time passed, and people in Ireland started thinking of Halloween as a night for putting on costumes. And gradually costumes varied from those of a All Saints or a devil to ghosts, witches, and goblins. People believed that in this way, the demons would take them for their own, as was mentioned earlier, and would leave them alone. And finally, with time, the custom of dressing up and trick-or-treating were combined. Young people would travel from house to house shouting, "Trick or treat!" When they were given a treat, they thanked and merrily went to the next door. If they received nothing, they performed a trick. This is the story of Halloween, and now let's proceed to the comprehension questions. First, there will be just the questions. Please try to think about the answers. Please try to answer them. And then there will be the questions one more time with the answers. Question number 1. When was the festival of the God of the Dead celebrated? Number 2. What did the Celts used to do to scare the evil spirits away? 3. What kind of festival did the Romans hold? 4. Why did the Roman Catholic Church establish All Saints' Day on November the 1st? 5. Try to tell the legend of Stingy Jack. Number 1. When was the festival of the god of the dead celebrated by the Celts. It was celebrated between the evening of October the 31st and November the 1st. Number 2. What did the Celts use to do to scare away the evil spirits away? They used to light huge bonfires on hills. 3. What kind of festival did the Romans hold? They held the festival of Pomona, the goddess of fruit, garden, and apples. 4. Why did the Roman Catholic Church establish All Saints' Day on November the 1st? To honor all the saints who had no separate day of their own and wanted to replace all the pagan ceremonies. And number 5, try to tell the legend of Stingy Jack. That was the story of Halloween. Thank you very much for listening, and to be heard next time. Bye bye.